Hey y'all, it's Sherry. I am here with Hecate's Needle. Welcome to my finally finished craft room. Today is May 1st, 2025, so happy May Day. Today, I want to start with saying welcome. Welcome to all of my subscribers. Welcome to those who have just discovered me, and welcome to those who just kind of tune in once in a while but haven't subscribed yet. Everyone here is welcome. Everyone's welcome to my tiny little corner of the internet. Now, today I have a little bit of cross stitch, a little bit of sewing, a little bit of gardening, and a little bit of life. So the four top tiers, all done. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get started with cross stitch. Cross stitch, I do have progress. I worked on 4 different projects the past 2 weeks. Of course, now that I've finished my craft room, I'll be able to have more time to work on more projects, get more progress done. But the first one I worked on is Vampirum by Noctiflora Designs. Once it is finished, it will look like this. Now, this one, I didn't get much done. I literally just worked on it this morning while I was waiting for an appointment. Let me see if I can get this situated. No, I cannot. You cannot? No, just no. Now, when you saw it before, all of this was done. The only thing I did this morning was the outline of this wing. I am beginning on the 3rd or 4th part. I'm not sure. Remains to be seen. But that's where it's at so far. Now, this morning I managed to put in like 133 stitches. That put it at 30% done. I will say I love this one. I enjoy working on it. I enjoy everything about it. Finally spun the wheel and landed on it. Now, this one is being stitched in all DMC, the called for colors. The fabric is by Witch's Garden Crafts. It is a 14 count Aida in the color Batavia. And I love it. It's beautiful. Witch's Garden Crafts always does a great job with her fabrics. But I will continue working on this today and see if I can get some more done. Now this was the stitch along for last year. Unfortunately, I joined all the stitch alongs last year, so it didn't get done. But I'm hoping to finish it this year. The next one I worked on was another stitch along from last year because I joined all of them. Don't ask me why, I don't know why. My scissors keep sticking to my needle minder because why not? Now this is the Study of Skulls by the Stitch Crypt. When it's finished, it'll look like this. Last time you saw it, I had all of this and this section done. In the past 2 weeks, I completed these 2 sections. Now all I have left of this is the third shelf, or the third, where did I get third? What the hell? The last shelf here and whatever's on it. But I have all of that done. Now I put in 1,061 stitches in this, and that put it at 77% done. So not far, more than 3/4 of the way. This fabric is a 16 count Aida that I dyed myself. I don't have a colorway. But I love it. I love how it's turning out. Now, I don't have before pictures of any of these because I've just been so scattered and so busy unpacking and everything. But starting with my next video, I will have before pictures. So, the next one I worked on was another stitch along from last year. This one is the Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow. Now, I started this last year. I did not intend it to be a stitch along for me. It's just a project. And this is what I have thus far. And when you saw it before, all I had was the black done. I have since filled in the dark brown, and I am working on another shade of brown. But this is what I've gotten done. I put in 1,001 stitch, and that puts it at 17%. So I have a long way to go. But that's okay. That's okay. Now, this one is being stitched on a 14 count Aida. Okay. I don't have the color. It's like a minty green, and it's an opalescent, but I know you can never see that on the videos. You can't see the sparkles. Maybe a little bit. But that's the fabric. This one, I would be very surprised if I get it done this year. And I'm not going to stress over it. No. Oh, and these are all being housed in me-made bags. Deadly Vampirum is being housed in my little kitty cat bag. Study of Skulls is being housed in my veggie bag. And the Deadly Aquarium is in my sea turtle bag. The last one I worked on this past 4 weeks, or past 2 weeks, I don't know, I got no excuse. My mind is gone from the packing and the moving and the nonsense. But this one is being housed in another kitty cat bag. And this one is my bee mandala. This is a pattern from I believe it's Doreen Jones, if I'm not mistaken. But the pattern is from the World of Cross Stitching magazine for May of 2021. Now, this one, I managed to put in quite a few stitches. When you last saw it, I had just these done. But I have completed the first bee and the flower underneath him and started on the wings of the other two bees. Basically, I just finished the threads. But for this one, I managed to put in 696 stitches, which put it at 17% complete. I love this pattern. I love it, and I was so happy that I got to work on it again. Now, the fabric is another Witch's Garden Crafts, and this one is the color. It's a 14 count Aida, and it is in the color Frosty. This was from my Fabric of the Month subscription back when I still had it. Now, I've since canceled it because I have enough fabrics. And I want to use up the ones I have before I get more. But those are the 4 projects I worked on. Now, I made considerable progress on 3 of them. I'll take it. Now, I'm back to spinning the wheel to choose my projects. I am back to doing my check sheet, which, as you can see, January and February were blacked out from moving and all of that nonsense. I barely got time to breathe, much less stitch. I have started filling in March, and I've gotten quite a bit done with March, and then I've also started on April. Now, what I've done is when I spin the wheel, I have goals. Now, if it's a stitch along, that I worked on as a stitch along, like the study of skulls, then my goal when I spin that project on the wheel is to complete one section, one release, one part. Every other project, I stitch on it until I've got at least 500 stitches. Now, if I'm having a good time stitching on it, I may stitch on more, just like I did with all three of the study of. Now, the study of skulls, I did pieces, but the Deadly Aquarium and the Bee Mandala, both of those I did more than 500 stitches just because I was enjoying it. So, but the goal is to do at least 500 stitches, and then I spin the wheel again, and I can check it off on my checklist. So, now, plans. My plans, now I know it's May, and there are all kinds of challenges in May. There's Stitch Mania, there's all of these things. I don't do challenges because they just stress me out and then it's not enjoyable. However, that being said, I think I'm going to do monogamous words and syllables, you guys. Monogamous May. And that's not a problem for me because I was a monogamous stitcher before. I was for years. So what I plan to do is in May, I am going to take the projects that I am closest to being finished on, like the study of skulls or the Maine Coon cat. The ones that I'm closest to being finished, and I am going to stitch on that project until it's done, then move to the next one because I want some of these finished. I want them finished, and especially the ones that are closer, like the study of skulls. Okay, that is a quick, easy stitch, and I only have 3 pieces left. Now tonight I'm going to stitch on the Vampirum. I would like to get some more of that done, but starting tomorrow, I am going to stitch on a study of skulls till it is finished, and then I will most likely go to the Maine Coon cat and stitch on that until it is finished. So those are my plans. And then come June, I'll go right back to spinning the wheel. So we'll see how much progress I can get done that way and how many finishes I can get done in May. Now, I know most people are like, oh no, I start on my projects in May. No, I want to finish some. I want my project list smaller. Now, I only need one more finish and I can start a new project. My plans are for every 3 finishes, I will start one project. So, those are my plans. And that is cross stitch. I did get a little bit of haul. Now, this is a low buy year for me. I'm not buying much. However, Forbidden Fiber had a sale on their misdyes, and they had some of their 10-yard hanks of floss for like under $1.50. And I have some monochromatic projects coming up, and so I got some. The first one I got, and these are misdyes, so they don't have names, but the first one I got is this absolutely beautiful blue. I love it. There is just the slightest bit of variegation, not a lot, but it's beautiful. The next one I got was this red, and again, it has slight variegation, but not a whole lot. Beautiful. And then the third one I got was this one, and let's see. The colors are a mix of like a dark blue and dark, almost purple. There, see the difference? And again, I love it. They also had a grab bag of fabric misdyes. So again, these have no color name, but they're fat quarters of 16 count Ada. The first one is in plastic, so you'll have a glare because, of course. But the first one is this lovely pink. Now, this is a very pale pink. It's extremely pale, and I don't even know if you're getting the pink color coming out on this. But it's a very pale pink. It's lovely. I don't know why these are misdyes because I think they're beautiful. The second one I got is it's kind of a tannish yellowish color. Again, pale, not dark. And then the third one I got was this lovely blue. And it's just a pale blue. But very nice. And as I said, these were labeled as misdyes. They were in a grab bag, so you get what you get. But I love them all. And I already have projects in mind for them. So, the next thing I got was just a little bookmark kit, and it's from Povitrulia. It's the dandelions, which I think is lovely. But those are the only things I got. And they were all on sale. So that's it for cross stitch. Now the next thing we've got is sewing. for sewing, now I just finished my sewing room, so I haven't done any sewing, but the stack of fabric back there, that is all fabric that has been matched to patterns and is waiting to be cut. Some of those are from winter on up to spring because I had started matching them before I knew we had to move. Or, well, before I knew we were going to move. We didn't have to move. So those are waiting to be cut out. Up there, that crate is sewing projects like the kits I get from the sewing club for the bags and things. That's what the wooden crate is. And then there's a basket there, the silver basket that has the little envelopes in it. Let me see. Here we go. Here's one that I haven't put up there. And basically, they are things that have already been cut out. And they have everything in it waiting to be stitched. What I do, when I cut out a pattern, I put everything, pattern, fabric pieces, whatever notions, whether it's buttons or elastic or snaps or whatever, they all go in the envelope. That way I just pull the envelope and have everything I need ready to go. That's what's in the silver basket up there. And I have a handful down here that I haven't put up there because there's no room. The other sewing thing I have now, those who have been here a while know I'm a doll maker. I make rag dolls and things. My mother gave me a rag doll that her grandmother gave her when she was 3 years old. That would be in 1950. Now, this is what she looks like. As you can see, the yarn is kind of separating and whatnot. And her dress was ruined long ago. My mother just found a little girl's dress in like a yard sale and put it on her, but I'm going to take that off. Now this is the size of this doll. Okay, she's almost life size. What I'm going to do with it is I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to fix the hair. I'm going to get rid of this and make a more period authentic doll's dress for her. And I'm going to redo her. But I mean, this is 75 years old. So it's actually in pretty good shape, but I'll touch it up, fix the hair and do a new dress for it. That is one of the projects I'd like to do. Because I mean, how often do you find 75-year-old or 70, how many years did I say? 75-year-old dolls. So I'm going to fix that up. So that's a project. As far as sewing goes, now that my sewing room is set up, I can start spinning the wheel and start getting these projects in the crate done, which means lots of new bags and things like that. That's sewing for now. Gardening. We're still working in the garden. We have planted our sweet potatoes. We have planted bush beans. We have our tomatillas, tomatoes, peppers, and garlic are all thriving. We have completely redone and finished 2 flower beds, and we've started cleaning out a third. And we've actually started cleaning out a third one in the front yard and a 4th one in the backyard. The front yard gets more sun. So once the sun is shining there and it gets too hot, I move to the backyard because that's in the shade. That way I don't get overheated. So that's how that's going. And the one in the backyard is a lot easier to pull the stuff, so I don't have to work as hard. But we've almost finished clearing out the one in the front yard. Now it's big stuff that my husband has to either dig out or pull out with the truck because of the roots. So we have pruned all of the fruit trees. Now the magnolia tree in the backyard has a disease. It is highly infested. So I think we're just going to get rid of that and replace it with something else. Now the magnolia in the front tree is fine, or in the front yard is fine. And then I need to take a look at the loquat tree because it's not looking great, but it's not looking as bad as the magnolia, if that makes sense. And I've drawn out the plans, the landscaping plans for the backyard. We're going to finish the vegetable garden. We're going to finish planting. We're going to finish there's only one more flower bed to do back there. Well, no, there's two because I'm going to put another flower bed back there. We need to lay pathways, and then I'm going to create a mushroom garden. Probably plant about 3 different kinds of mushrooms. We want to plant the little white button mushrooms. We want to plant shiitakes because that's my favorite. And then I'll probably pick another one. I'm thinking maybe wine cups, maybe oyster mushrooms. I'm not sure. But we're going to do a mushroom garden. And then we've already started with the raised beds for the bee garden. So the blueberries, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. They're turning. They're starting. But they're not ready yet. But every day I go out there and check them. Chickens are fine. They're happy. Life. Life. As you can see, I finished my craft room. And I'm going to insert a craft room tour here. It's done. It's finally done. My craft room is done. I'm so excited. Yay. So we'll start here. Obviously, fabric. These are projects waiting to be done in a little excess fabric. That obviously is the closet. Inside, that is more my daughter's art supplies, those cabinets, and then random stuff. Bookshelf. Obviously, patterns, books, notebooks, etc. My cutting table. The stack of fabric there is waiting to be cut. As you can see, it's already matched to patterns. Now, these are projects that have been waiting since winter on into spring. So, yeah, there's that. This corner, this cabinet is cross-stitch stuff. As you can see, the top is excess stuff, excess floss, scissors, charms, and buttons and beads. This shelf is my kits. That shelf is patterns and fabric. So, then of course up here, my excess DMC, the stand I have. That case is fabric. My box from Yasmin's, made with love. And then this is my yarn bowl. My needle minders. This is my bag of finished projects in hoops. Window. My DMC master stash. my buttons. Yay. All my ribbons. This is sewing stuff, crochet stuff, beading, felt for my felt embroidery, things like that. And then, of course, my sewing desk. And then down here, there's my rolling cart. And then that magazine stand has my works in progress. That one has empty project bags and projects that I have kitted up waiting to be started. So yeah, it's done. Yay. So my craft room is done. I'm excited. I love it. I couldn't be happier. As far as the rest of life goes, it's just nonsense. It's nonsense. It's just the usual stuff. Red tape, paperwork, bureaucrats. All the happy things in life. Now, my daughter and I managed to get our state IDs. My driver's license, her state ID. My husband, he's still got his Texas ID. He went to the office to get it done. And he did not have a certified copy of his birth certificate. He just had a copy. It wasn't the certified one. And so he had to send off to Illinois to get it. So he's still waiting for that to arrive. What are you doing, Hound? Are you just exploring? Artemis is here with us. So he's still waiting. We have both cars registered. But otherwise, we're fine. I am celebrating finishing this room. I informed my husband yesterday. This weekend, do not ask me to do anything. I'm not doing anything. Fridays are when I clean house and wash like the sheets and the bedding and everything, so that in the weekend I don't have to do housework. But I told him I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything this weekend. Nothing. So he said, well, we'll find something fun to do. That's if he doesn't decide there are 15 million chores we need to do. But I can tell you what, he's doing them. I'm not. I'm done for at least until next week. I'm just done. But anyway, that's all that's going on here. Not a whole lot. But now that this is done, my job is done, I have more time to stitch, and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna use it. I'm excited. And I can sew again. That's exciting. So that's what's going on here. Not a whole lot. Well, I mean, a whole lot has been, but now not a whole lot because I finished. But now I have more time on my hands. But now you can see I'm making more progress. I'm getting more done. And hopefully I can get my project list down and get some finishes in the next month. Like I said, monogamous stitching doesn't bother me at all. So I won't mind that in the month of May. But I want to get some of these that are close to being finished. I want them done. But tonight I'm going to stitch some more on the vampire. Just because it needs some love. But anyway, that's it from me. I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed. For those of you who haven't, I hope you saw something you liked. Hopefully you'll subscribe. Hit the little bell. Comment. I always read and answer the comments. I love your comments. They make my day. And I hope to see you next time in 2 weeks when I will be back. Until that time, have an amazing weekend. And I'll see you later. Bye.